In this video, I'll be taking a look at the Essentials Kit and the accompanying Dragon of Icespire Peak adventure, giving you my thoughts on who this adventure is for, should you buy it, and my general thoughts on the Essentials Kit as a whole. If you don't know who I am, my name is Eventyr with Eventyr Games, which is an adamantine best-selling publisher of DM's resources and guides for 5th edition. So I've been writing guides for running published and official D&D adventures for a couple of years now, and are selling them over at the DM's Guild. Now, I haven't run the Dragon of Icespire Peak before, I haven't written a guide for it, and I actually didn't even include it in my overview of the 5th edition adventures for that very same reason. Based on your recommendations and recommendations I've read elsewhere, I decided to pick up the Essentials Kit, and I'll now give you my honest thoughts on what I think about it and whether or not I think you should buy it if it is the right product for you. The Essentials Kit is this box of various stuff. It includes a rulebook, a introductory adventure called Dragon of Icespire Peak, some blank character sheets, dice, a Dungeon Master screen in like thin cardboard. Then there are magic item cards, sidekit cards and more. And then there's also a poster map for the adventure. I can't say for sure what it will cost you to buy it, but here in Denmark, I can get the Essentials Kit at less than half the price of most of the D&D source books. So I give the equivalent of $20 or $25 for the whole Essentials Kit, which is in Denmark really, really cheap, especially for what you're getting. You're getting a set of dice, you're getting an adventure, albeit a short one in a soft cover version, but still. And you also get a poster map and these item cards, which are again not high quality, and the DM screen isn't high quality either. It's cardboard, and it's you have to cut the cards yourself, stuff like that. But it's still a whole lot of value, in my opinion, for $20 or $25. So just in terms of the actual physical products that we get, item cards, poster map, DM's screen, and dice, we're getting a pretty good bargain already. Then there's of course the adventure itself and the rule book that we get. Now, if you're an entirely new DM, a fresh DM who's never played 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons before, the limited basic rules that we get in the Essentials Kit are actually quite functional. They don't have as much content as I'd want. I'd like to see them have more character classes and options, but for a first-time DM especially, they have everything you need, and in a quite readable and condensed fashion, which will of course make it easier to actually use at the table. Then there's the adventure Dragon of Icespire Peak, which I probably should do a separate review video on, which I might do a separate review video on. But in general sense, if you're asking me, should I buy the Essentials Kit for the adventure, I'd say that you could do a lot worse for a beginner adventure or just a short, fun, simple adventure than Dragon of Icespire Peak. Dragon of Icespire Peak is classic fantasy, and it's also a choose-your-own mission sort of thing where there is an overarching goal, deal with this dragon that's haunting the Icespire Peak and the town of Phandalin, and then the characters are giving options of which quests they want to pursue, so it feels a bit video gamey in that sense, because there's a notice board. You go ahead, pick your quest, and go out and try to accomplish it. So without going too deep into the actual adventure, what I will say is that the more open form that Dragon of Icespire Peak has is an improvement, in my opinion, upon the Lost Mine of Phandelver. It's not a perfect adventure by any means. I also think there are some choices that are made that doesn't necessarily make it as newbie friendly as you would probably like. The same goes for Lost Mine of Phandelver, the other beginner adventure in 5th edition, so that's not anything new. I will say that having a open structure is a plus, especially if that open structure is easy to follow, which it is in Dragon of Icespire Peak. It doesn't really have a big tied-in story. It more feels like separate locations, and then there's a dragon at the end of everything. But even so, it is easier to follow than Lost Mine of Phandelver. It is a good starting point for your 5th edition D&D journey. You can definitely do a lot worse for beginner adventure than this. So all in all, would I buy the Essentials Kit again, knowing what I know now, having read through the stuff and looked at everything that's in the box? And the definite answer is yes. At the price point, getting dice, a DM screen, a map, new character sheets, limited rules if you need those, if you don't have the core rule books, and then this adventure gives you basically, as the box promises, everything you need to run a game of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, and it does so at a very low price point. So for beginning DMs, for that, just trying it out with your wife or your child or whatever experience picking up the Essentials Kit and running a few games, and you'll already have made your money back in time and enjoyment, I would say. So yeah, that's my quick review of the Essentials Kit. I think it's a definite purchase for newer DMs and even experienced DMs who just want to run some casual D&D with newer players could do well in picking up this box. I personally am having a lot of fun playing through the adventure with my kit. Alright, that's it for this one. If you like what we do here, you can like and subscribe, and you can also support us over at patreon.com/eventyr, where we put out new encounters and adventures every month. Beyond that, there's not a whole lot left to say except thank you for watching, and I hope that I'll see you in the next video.